Hello guys, here's Madam OK, and today we will be working on another landscape painting done in acrylics, and we definitely will use a heavy texture called impasto in certain sections. This time I won't be using the acrylic gel. I want to just rely on paint. So for the painting part I will be using brushes as well as palette knives, and my paint is spreaded on those crazy styrofoam plates. So let us start with just a small sketch. I don't like to sketch, I like to paint right away. However, I noticed that for some of you it's more comfortable to just start with a couple of lines, and that's okay with me as well. Okay, so that will be the section where I will have water. I want to have some mountains in the back. See, I place them again. Those jigsaw lines are super important, like see, like this. And I will definitely have some trees in the front. I want to have some nice spot on the water here with some grass and some water plants, and some plants will come as well here. So maybe this line will be even better. Fantastic. Time to paint. We'll start with the water and the sky, and then we'll move to the mountains. So for the sky, I will need a color that will be different from the mountains. Mountains will be bluish grayish color, so I have to think about quite warm, nice color in the other section on the top. So maybe pink or maybe yellow. I definitely need to take here my another palette. I take some of the white, and I will take tiny bit of red, very little, you see, just a tiny bit. Now I will mix those colors together, and for now that should be a nice color. Well, I want to be a little bit more white here still. You see, apply it on the top of my sky. So I'm using my palette knife and I'm going right away into the part where I have my sky. So you see, right now I have a pink with it's almost off-white in the other sections. When I want to bring some blue, I definitely can do it, and especially now since the paint is on my paper, because I use paper here. So you see, this way I make it more interesting. It's not just one color. And when you have already paint applied on the surface, it's easy to blend some other colors into it. Good. The next section will be the mountains and then the water. Okay, so for the mountains I need a small amount of black. I mix it right away in the paint that I already mixed here on the palette. This pinkish color. See, quite a nice color now, grayish color, with a hint of pink and a little bit of blue, believe me or not. So this should be okay, even maybe a little bit more. We will have to apply it on the top of the surface to see how the color will look like. So this is quite a nice color, but I think, well, maybe a little bit of brown would be also a good addition to it. I don't want to have just blue. I want that it will be a color that will have some of blue in it. You see, that's already a better color with hint of it to make the color quite cool and not a just boring gray color. Though I don't want the color that will overpower the image. I have also the section in the front, and I have to make sure that this is the more important section with a greater contrast than the section on the back. See, at a certain point we have to decide about the light. Where is the source of light? Because depending of the direction, we will create shadows and light on the mountains. So that means we will slightly change the color from darker to lighter, and maybe including some other colors in it. Remember that when you use palette knife, you also shape with the direction of the strokes the mountains. You can see that this mountain is quite dark. I have to really decide for the source of light, and I think the light will come from this direction. So that means that I have to take more white. Notice maybe a little bit of the blue even here, and I will apply it right away on this section. You see this plane of my mountains, this plane. So you really indicate that the rays of light hit them. See on this side here. So those clues are super important. They make the painting be completed. See, like this. Just to be slightly different tone here. I definitely need to have this lighter color, even bring some white, because I already have quite a bit of paint, so I can blend some of the white on this side here. So we have to we'll start with yellow color, since the trees are green and brown color, and the green is a secondary color. Yellow is part of this combination. When I will have yellow on the ground, I can always switch it and change it to the color of green. I use a little bit of yellow ochre here, especially on the bottom part, because that will help me to vary the color a little bit. See? I also plan to apply another color inside of it, and this color, believe me or not, is our purple color. And I use the purple because it's opposite to the yellow color, complementary color, and what it does when it blends with the yellow, it gives me a nice kind of brownish neutral color. Yes, but I want to show vertical plane of my whatever it will be next to the water, maybe the ground, maybe some plants growing from the water, just the differentiation. So you see, not only application of colors and differentiation of the colors, but also the mark making, the stroke, the direction of the strokes is super important, because this way I'm giving the clue to the viewers what is happening here, and I'm creating the volume. See, if I want to simplify it, I still can do it. Now, I want to have some trees here, and then I'm moving really to the water. So with the trees, I will apply this purple color first. Believe me or not, I need to have it somewhere here. And why I'm doing it, well, you see, the closer to the ground the foliage, the darker the section is, and I'm creating it here. I also can apply a little bit black, but not too much. I want to have the variation of colors. So you see, it's already getting richer. Wow. Yep. Okay, we will move even with those trees a little bit on the side, and slowly but surely, you can see, I will move to the brushes to get more details. Before I will move to the trees, I need to work on my water. So you see, this will be okay. And then my water. My water has to be blue. So again, I'm getting a different kind of blue. I'm getting this blue, and I'm getting white. Because I don't mix everything right away. Notice, I want to give myself the room of making the tone darker, if I want to, by applying more blue into the mixture, right? But when you do it right away, then you limit yourself. You can see that I can go with a little bit even more of white here. So certainly I will do it. See, it's a quite dark color, the way it is. More of it, and then I'm getting a little bit darker color on the side. I think I have to have it darker, otherwise it will be boring to that, having such a big section done with just one color and one tone. See, so that looks good. We will have more of it on the side, and then let's see, very nice. And now I will mix two colors. I will use also the cerulean cayenne. I don't know, that's more of cerulean color because it's opaque, and I will bring it into my water. So it's not just one color that I have in the water, I have two colors. That makes it more interesting. Okay, like this. Fantastic. You see, it's very hard for us to see where's the masking tape, because remember, masking tape shows us where's the end of our canvas. Oh, I'm sorry, paper. I constantly talk about canvas here. So you can easily use canvas. I'm just using paper because I'm doing those studies for you to show you the technique. See, and I'm still using palette knife despite there's such a small format and small scale of painting. Fantastic. So I have those colors here, and now the next step will be, believe me or not, to work on the trees and on this foliage here. So for the foliage, I'm still will be, oh, see, there's some of those plants growing the water. I don't know how you call them even. I have to find in the dictionary the special name for them. You see, and this is the base of them. Base. So the base is always darker. See, they usually go into such groupings. So I'm pushing with the strokes. First I'm dabbing, and then I'm pushing the strokes up. I'm lucky that I have this palette knife, because you see, with having this particular part, I can still hold with my hand the palette knife, and this section is painting. If I would have a flat palette knife, that would be impossible, or at least very difficult to achieve. So I'm glad that I have it. Now I'm placing a little bit more of the green next to the mountains, or maybe closer to them, and a little bit on the ground as well as here. See, I'm already introducing more colors. So I will work now on my trees. So I'm using a little bit lighter color, and I'm moving my trees here. See here, and I'm bringing up. I'm not going from the mountains, because I want to start with this darker color and then blending them. You see, moving it and blending with the colors of the mountains. I bring a little bit of brown mixed with blue. I like this combination as well very much, especially here. See, I like purple, and I need another color combination. So this looks fine to me. See, still a little bit more blue. See, because I'm a colorist, I like to have different colors. So I want to apply here also darker colors. So I will come with a little bit of the purple again, my favorite color for painting. Yeah, and this should help me to create this very nice plants, water plants. I also want to bring slightly of this color, a little bit more over there, and then I'm going to the ground. Wow, I'm cleaning up my brush. I like to usually work with one brush. I'm very strange this way, but this is just, I'll use the edge of it, I move it, I use trick water of it, depends again how you position it. So you see, I'm using this color now here, and I use it almost like a palette knife. Okay, I'm not looking for super details. I'm not interested in it at all. I'm just interested in distributing the colors. You see, I'm going like this, and maybe another set of those plants here. See, the same plants, but the grouping and being farther away will make them looking more unified. See, coming like this, little bit more here, little bit more of them here. And I like some of those trees. Ooh, I have forgotten to put some trees on the other side as well, so that it doesn't look empty. That's good. We'll bring some other greens here in a second, but this is not the time yet. Well, I have to put something on the top here, lighter color, and I have gold, and I thought, why not to use gold, right? You can use any color that you think will work for you, but to me this gold will really work well. Yeah, see this, and I like to mingle it with the colors that I already have on the ground here on my paper, and making this more interesting. I probably have to change my brush, because this is a big brush. Well, maybe for a while I will work with it, but I have to be careful that I will not put too much paint, like heavy. I mean, heavy, yes, but not like a big blob, right? See, so even here I break the space. I use the edge. See, those grasses, water grasses, they grow quite vertically, or slightly diagonal vertically, so I can come on the top. And I also want to change the colors. You see, I don't want to keep one color, that's for sure. See, here I can be a little bit thicker with the paint and more of the section, almost like, see, develop. This is good. Then another section, let's see, little bit of it will come here like this. And I can come with this section now. You see, some of those plants have those nice tops, brown tops, and I will certainly indicate them here. See, like this. And then I will come with some lighter colors inside, but this gives you already a clue what it is. I don't remember how we call those plants, I always forget. See, like this. A little bit stronger. Also apply some of the, see, different levels, very important, not just one level. So now I bring a little bit of red into my painting. See, I want to have some more colors here. See, I'm applying a little bit of the coppery color here, and then I will bring some gold, because those beautiful plants have to give me the luminosity, and that's important to me to present. You see, so what is going on here, there's so much already, very, very rich painting. Okay, you see, even heavier here. I think I can unify it a little bit more like this, and a little bit like this. Let me give me the chance to put the tips of those nice plants like this, like this, like this. You see, a little bit bringing them to the top, because they have those tops, right? So we want to bring them, we want to indicate. See, because we are familiar with those plants, we just don't know often the names of them, but this is a very, very prominent plant that grows in the, you see, in the water like this. And I also need a little bit, see, of this color here. I really like the combinations of colors here. I like to bring those different colors and have so much fun with it. Then those beautiful, beautiful trees. So what I will be doing now, I have to go with separate strokes, and those strokes will look like this. Like this, you see? Just going in the opposite direction. La 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 la. Okay. So we need more of those strokes, and we really want to bring the lighter color. You see on which side? We get this side here, so we certainly have to come on this side with more light. Yeah, I also have a different green, and I bring this green on the other side of my trees, like here. See how rich it is? Not so much on the bottom, but I definitely will use this color on the top. Like, see, like this, to make it rich in colors and the texture. Very. This is good, and then I want to come with those crossed lines here. See, to really indicate that they are the spruce growth trees, like this, you see. To make it even richer, I can bring some of the red, so that our attention can go partially to those trees, right? There where I have the green color, right? It's okay, he will become more purple, but just a little bit. See that? And then what we want to have, well, let's see. This section is quite nicely done. I still will come with, you see, a couple of dots here, darker ones. Okay, and then I want to think about my fields. I can simplify it a little bit now, because I think that it will better contribute. I can't have all the solo players here. For me, the trees are very important here. They look really good, so I'm simplifying the ground over there. I can use more of this yellow, but notice the colors will mingle now nicely together, and I can bring a little bit, believe me or not, of the red here on just next to the trees. Okay, this section is fine. That looks quite nice. I can bring some of the red here as well on the top of those strange but beautiful plants. See, and this red works well. Like you see, we go like this, see, and then a little bit of this color again on the top. You see here, I need to have some reflections in the water. So what I'm doing, I'm not applying very much of paint. This is very, like you see, vertical lines, and then I'm indicating that maybe there's some plants. So you see, just a little bit of reflection like this here, and the same there. So not too much. This is the trick. I will need some of those plants as well coming. Let me see here. See, like this. So make it in the way that, see, we have thousands of colors here. The same here. Really simplified. Then those trees still need a little bit of work. Notice they are too heavy, so I'm spreading them, and I definitely need this section to be more emphasized. So something like this, see, just a little bit. And then yellow. Again, yellow has to come here for sure. Like this, and then darker on the bottom. You don't want to have too much attention going to this section. Very good. So we have those bright colors now. I like what is happening in the front, but I need to simplify it. You see some of those shapes here. So I use palette knife now, you see, and I'm going with this color, just like this here, bringing quiet peacefulness to my painting. Yeah. What else do we want to do? We want to discover if you are happy with our mountains and the water. So the reflection in the water has to be. I want to just try this color. I want to see if I will like it like this, and I do. It doesn't bother me. It's a little bit bright, but I like it. So you see the same those plants here. We need to have some reflections of them. You see the same here. Whatever's happening, we need some of those reflections coming. And the same, I like the colors here very much. Now this side here, I also can afford to put some of this color here, and maybe even a little bit of purple. What do you think? Maybe just a touch. Let us try what will happen. I think purple would be good addition, but first I have to use it. See, just like this, and then maybe of this purple can come a little bit more here into the yellow. So we create certain contrast, or when we blend it, it won't be such a strong contrast. It will be just a nice new color, neutral color. So you see, and I can spread it a little bit here. And I will apply it certainly here. Have to simplify it, the shape. So you really like what is happening here. It gives me this nice flow. Okay, I still use a little bit of purple here. I don't want to have it too much, just a little bit, like you see, blending also into my blue that's still not perfectly dry. See, and then I think I have to come with some of this color. So it's white mixed with a little bit of blue. I think I can go with this darker blue, which is ultramarine, this section. This is like this, and I think the masking tape is right next to it. Okay, so I'm pushing this paint here, a little bit of it there, and I think that we can call it quit. What do you think? Still a little bit lighter? Oh, maybe. Let's see. Bring here a little bit of this lighter color, because that will look good, like reflection almost, and then we bring this very nice color combination on the top like this. See, so something is happening here, and then with the with our light brush, small brush, we will bring some of those nice lines back. See some of this color here. Just a touch, and a little bit of it here, a little bit there, a little bit of it here, and maybe just touch more here. See, this not too much, not too little, just enough information for us to read it as a nice landscape. So I hope you enjoyed the process with me, and now you are ready to paint your own landscape paintings. Have a good day and see you next time. Bye!